Hello guys, welcome back to Tech Projects. I am back with another video, and in this video we are going to see how to create a news application using Retrofit REST API in Android Studio. And this app is completely Play Store level app, and after making this application you can upload it on Play Store and you can add it in your resume. It is your choice, whatever you want to do. So in this video we will going to complete our news app from start to end in a single video. So I already uploaded a demo video. You can check my playlist of news app if you want to see the demo of the application. And for if you are new to directly come on to this video, then I want to show a quick demo of the news application. So you can see I open this application. So when I open this application, first of all it show the all news is on our home screen, and it is the tab layout and which contain lots of fragment. Now if I swipe, so you can see I come on the sports fragment, technology fragment, and technology fragment contain only technology news, sports fragment contain only sports news. So you can customize it according to your own choice. Now after this, when you click on any of the particular news, it will open the new activity, which is web view activity, to show the details of the particular news. So you can see it's showing a very amazing, and it looks very amazing, and it is perfectly written code. So that's why you may be not able to differentiate whether it is opening on browser or opening inside the app. So you can see web view is work fine. Now I want to show, you can see the card view contain the lots of detail like news title, news description, author name, date published, and image view. So you will going to learn lots of things of retrofit, of a get request, and how to work with REST API. So now don't further delay, now let's start the video and see how to create this. And if you don't subscribe our channel, then please subscribe the channel and hit the bell notification. And also if you are new to our channel, then please share this channel with your friend if you like the videos. So now let's start the video. So for this, simply open your Android Studio, and after this you have to click on file, then you have to click on new, then you have to click on new project, then select empty activity, click on next, then give any application name. It is your choice, whatever you want to give. So I simply give news app tutorial. Then you have to click on finish, and it will create this project. So I can close my previous one project, so I close this, and this is the project. Now I minimize this from here and open activity main XML file and click on split. So now the project loads successful. Now this is our home activity. So it is your choice whether you want to add a splash screen or not. I already uploaded lots of tutorial how to add splash screen, so you can check my channel for how to add splash screen. But in this project I am not going to add splash screen. Now this is our home activity, which is our activity main. So in this activity, what I need a tab layout here to show different tabs. So for this, simply first delete this, and I don't need a text view here, and also delete this constraint layout and simply type here relative layout. We want to use this. So let's quickly design our activity. So press enter. Now minimize it from here. Then after this, first of all I need a toolbar, because I will remove the action bar from our application, and for this it is better to use a toolbar here. So toolbar, set the layout with match parent, and height of the toolbar is action bar size. So simply take a question mark here when you type here attr, then type here action bar size inside this one. So this is fine. Now you have to give the margin top 0 dp. It is fine. Then after this, give the background color white. It is perfect. Then give any id. So I give the id name here toolbar, but you can give any id name, it is your choice. Then close this. Now inside this toolbar, what I need to show a text, like it is a news app, or you can use image or text. It is your choice. I want to show simply as text here. So simply take an open bracket, type here relative layout, set the layout with match parent, height match parent, it is fine, and simply set the gravity center vertical. It is perfect. Then close this. Now inside this relative layout, what I need a text view. So simply type here text view, set the layout with wrap content, height wrap content, then simply type here text, and I simply type here news feed. It is totally depend on you, whatever you want to type. Then after this, give any text style bold, and after this text size. So text size 20 sp, it is fine. Then we have to give a text color to make it attractive. So you can use my color code, or you can use your own color code. It is your choice. So my color code is 03A9F4. So this is perfect. Now close this. So you can see this toolbar is created successfully. Now below this relative layout, what we need a tab layout, show different items. So come outside from this toolbar, and here we have to write the more code. how to edit tab layout. So simply take an open bracket, type here com, so simply type here com dot tab layout. So this one, com dot and google dot android dot material dot tabs dot tab layout. So this is perfect. Give the layout with match parent, height again attr, action bar size. So this is perfect. Now give any id. So I give the id name here include, but you can give any id name, it is your choice, whatever you want to give. Then after this we have to simply set here layout below, and where we need below our toolbar. So that's done. Now we have to simply set the tab text color. So what color we want on our tab, it is your choice. So I simply you can give my color code or you can use your own color code. So my color code is 618 and C8F. So this is fine. Then after this we have to type here tab selected color, tab selected text color. So for this I want to use this color, so I simply copy this color from here, Control C copy, simply paste the color here. I pasted 2 times, sorry, cut this. So this is perfect. Now below this we have a tab indicator color. So you can give any color. I am again want to use this same color. So this is perfect. And then we have to simply set the tab indicator height. So 3.5 dp, it is fine, perfect height for our tab layout. Then after this we have a tab mode. So tab mode is most important. You have to include this. This is scrollable. So it will help to scroll the tabs. So for now I simply remove this. Later I will tell you what is the working of this. So for this I simply remove this, and now give the layout margin top and give the margin top 0 dp, it is fine. Then after this we have background tint. So whatever tint you want to give, I simply give the white. Then close this. Now inside this we need 5 to 6 items. So you can add more item, it is your choice. I will tell you how to work with API, so don't worry. So you can add more item, but for now I will add 5 to 6 items. So I simply type here tab item. So when you type this, so make sure you present inside this tab layout. So presenter. Now after this give the wrap content. Now give the text. So first text is home. So you can see it is perfectly working. Now give any ID. So I give the ID home, then close this. So you can see it is fine. Now simply copy this, Control C copy, and simply paste it here and again paste it here. So this is fine. Now the second tab is sports. So you can simply change the text sports and simply change the ID sports. And now the third tab is health, and simply change the ID health. So make sure to change the ID name, otherwise it will going to show error. So you can see these 3 tabs look fine. Now let us suppose if I add more tabs like this one. So you can see it look very messier here. So that's why we need to add our scrollable. So I will add later. First of all, this is our science tab. So I simply type here science, give the ID name here science. Then after this what we have a entertainment. So it is whatever you want, whether you want these tabs or not, entertainment. And then we have a simply type here entertainment ID name. And then after this, below this we have one more tab layout, which is tab item technology. So simply type here technology. So it is fine, and give the ID name here technology. So this is created successfully. Now you can see it look very messier. So simply come here and simply add a scrollable. So tab mode, and inside this simply type here scrollable. So you can see now it is perfect. So it looks very amazing. Now below this what we need a fragments here. Like for home we have a different fragment, for sports we have a different fragment, for health we have a different fragment. So first of all we have to take a fragment container here to place the fragments with the Java code. So press enter below this, and after this we have to write the code how to take the fragment. So all fragments present inside our view pager. So that's why we have to simply take an open bracket and simply click on here and simply take an open bracket, type here view pager, and you can use view pager too, but we want only horizontal scrolling, so that's why we don't need to use view pager too. So this is fine. Now give the layout with match parent, height is also match parent. Now layout below, and where we want this below include below this tab layout. So this is fine. Now what we have to give the margin top 0 dp, it is fine. Then after this you have to give any ID. So I give the ID name here fragment container, so it will hold our all fragment container. Then close this. So you can see this is created successfully. Now let's design our fragments, and then we will write the Java code of how to work with, how to scroll between tabs. So for this we have to create how many fragments we want. We want 6 fragments: home, sports, health, science, entertainment. So these 6 fragments we want. So for now, let us suppose click on resource, and then we have to click on layout, then click on this, and then click on new. Then you have to click on layout resource file, and then we have to simply give the name home fragment and simply change the root element to relative layout. So this is perfect. Now click on OK. Now click on split, and inside this home fragment what we need a recycler view to show this is home fragment. So set the layout with match parent, height match parent, and give the different ID name. We have to give the different ID name on all recycler view. That's why recycler view of home. And then we have to give the margin. So it is better to give the margin, so I can simply give the margin 2 dp, it is fine. Then we have to give the fit system window pass true, and also it is better to give a padding, small padding. So padding is also 2 dp, it is fine. Then close this. So this recycler view is created successfully. Now what we need 5 more fragments. So click on this, Control C copy, then simply click on layout, Control V paste, and this is our sports fragment, sports and fragment. It is better to give the same naming convention, and click on OK. Click on split and simply change the ID name, otherwise it will create a conflict on when we write the Java code. So this is sports. Now take your layout, Control V again. This is our technology fragment. You can create fragment in any order, it is your choice. Now click on split, and this is the recycler view of tech. Then take care here, Control V paste. Now this is our health fragment. Click on split, and this is our health. Now Control V paste. This is our entertainment fragment, and click on split and change the ID name entertainment. Now have 1 2 3 4 5, one fragment is left. So let me check which fragment is left. Science fragment. So take your Control V again, and this is last one, science fragment. Now click on OK. This is fine. Click on split and simply type here science, recycler of science. So this is perfect. Now the all fragments is created successfully. But for now I simply add a background color here, background black. So first of all I have to check whether the fragment is working or not, on view pager is working or not. So first of all I will write the XML code of fragments and tab layout. So that's why I simply add a background color of black, because when I swipe it is help to identify whether it is working or not. So I simply add a background color black inside science, and also it is better to add a background color also here. So we will remove this color later, so don't worry. This is just for checking purpose. So I simply type here background and I simply type here black. So this is fine. Now as you already know, if we want to work with fragment, then we have to also create a Java classes correspond to that fragment. So you already know this is very well. So for this we have to create a Java classes for this. So how we can create this? So right click, then you have to click on new, then you have to click on Java class. So first is our home fragment. So you can create classes in any order. So this is fine. Now inside this, what we have to type here? We have to type here extends, then fragment, and make sure you use this one, androidx.fragment.app, not this one, android.app. So because why I am saying this, because we have to create a model class to handle these fragments. So if you use different import statement here, and on model class if you use different import statement there, so then it will going to show error. So make sure you have to simply use this one import statement, androidx.fragment.app. So hope you understand. So this is done. Now inside this what we have to do, we have to implement override method. So simply alt insert override methods, and the override method is in place on create view. So where is on create view? This one. Click on OK. So this is fine. Now I update my Android Studio, that's why I'm saying annotation nullable. So you can remove this, we don't need this, and also we can remove this from here. It is just new thing in Android, latest version of Android. And also we have to remove this from here. Now inside this, what we have to do, we have to simply attach our fragment. So we have to simply take a view here, view, and then we have to simply type here inflator dot inflate, and then we have to pass the id name of our layout file. So this is a home fragment, so I have to attach here home fragment xml file, then this is null. Then after this, add a semicolon first and then simply return v. So this is perfect. Add a bracket here. So this is fine. Now we have to do the same work for remaining activities. Control C, simply click on the package, Control V paste, and this is our science. Now here I have to attach my science fragment, and then we have a health. So here I have to attach my health fragment. Then we have a technology fragment, so tech fragment, I give the small name here. So here I have to attach my technology fragment. So this is fine. Now entertainment fragment, and here I have to attach my entertainment fragment. And the last one, which one is left? Sports is left. So Control V, then sports. Later we will write the Java code how to display the data inside our fragments, but for now I simply type this. First of all, I have to check whether the view pager is working or not, so that's why. So I attach simply sports fragment here. So that this is done. Now we have to create a model class, or we can say pager adapter, to handle these fragments. So for this we have to create a new Java class. So right click on your package name, then you have to click on new, then you have to click on Java class, and simply give the class name here pager adapter. Now inside this, what we have to do, first of all we have to extend the fragment pager adapter. So fragment pager adapter. So you can see we have to use this one, androidx.fragment.app. So it is showing red ball cross line here, but don't worry, it is deprecated method, that's why it's showing, so we don't need to worry. Now implement method, so this is fine. Now you can remove this non-null, it is fine. Now what we have to do, we have to simply take a variable here. So I simply type here int tab count, so it will return the number of tab counts. Now it's showing again error, so take your cursor here and simply click on create constructor matching super, and select this one below this one and click on OK. So you can see it is fine. Now you remove this. This is something coming in your studio, so this is fine. Now what we have to do, we have to simply type here tab count, and inside this tab count what we have to store, behavior. So this is done. Now after this we have to, what we have to do, we have to simply switch the positions. So I simply type here switch, then what I have to type position inside this, then take two curly braces, and inside this we have to write the code. So if case is 0, then what I have to return, I have to return my return home fragment, new home fragment. So you can see it is fine. Now I can simply copy this, Control C copy, and simply paste the here, because we have a 6 fragment, so I paste it 6 times, so it is fine. Now we have to simply return different things. So if the case is 1, then come on our activity main XML file. So first of all we have a home fragment, then we have a sports. So here you have to simply pass the order. So where is our, so close the unnecessary files from here. So remember this pattern, home, sports, health, science. So here we have to return sports. So this is one, home, sports, health. This one is fine. Then we have a science. So this is fine. Now after this, what we have a, let me check, entertainment, and at last we have a technology. So entertainment, and at last what we have a technology, tech fragment. So this is perfect. Now at last what we have to do, we have to simply take a default case here. So first of all it's showing error, so this is case 2 and this is case 3, this is case 4, and this is case 5. And at last we can add one more statement here, default. So I simply type here default, and by default what we can inside this null. So this is done. Now here we have to, what we have to return? We have to return here tab count. So delete this and simply type here tab count. So this is fine. Now come open your main activity.java, and here we have to write the code, and then we will check whether the fragment is working or not. Then if it is working fine, then we will write the retrofit code and news API code. So first of all, what we have to take variables here. So simply type here tab layout. So this one, not this one, tab layout. And after this we have to give any variable name. I simply give the tab layout. Then we have a tab item. So this is now how many items we have. We have a 6 item: M home, M science, M health. So you can give any variable name: M tech, M entertainment, and at last we have a last one, M sports. Then after this what we have a pager adapter, which is our Java class. Then we have a toolbar. So androidx.appcomponent.widget.toolbar, this one, and give the variable name M toolbar. So this is fine. Now below this, assign the XML ID into our Java ID. So M toolbar, this one, equal find by id r.id.toolbar. So this is perfect. Then we have to simply set the set support action bar, and inside this we have to pass the toolbar, M toolbar. So this is done. Now we have to simply assign the XML ID M find by id r.id.home. So it is fine. Now M science equal find by id r.id.science. So this is done. Now we have M sports equal find by id r.id.sports. Then we have M tech equal find by id r.id.technology, and then we have a M entertainment equal find by id r.id.entertainment. So home is done, science is done, sports, tech and health is left. M health equal find by id r.id.health. So this is done. Now we have a view pager. So first of all, simply declare a variable of view pager type view pager, and give the variable name view pager, and inside this what we have to type find by id r.id.fragment container. Then after this we have to give a id tab layout equal find by id r.id. And then we have to give the id name include, which is our inside our activity main XML file, so you can check it. Now this is done. Now we have to simply set the pager adapter. So first of all, simply type here pager adapter. Then after this you have to type here new pager adapter. It will create the object. Then get support fragment manager, and inside this we have to pass the number of fragments. So how many number of fragments we have? 6. So this is done. Now add a semicolon, and this is done. Now we have to simply type here view pager dot set adapter, and inside this we have to simply type here pager adapter. So this is also done. Now press enter. Now we have to also write the code. Let us suppose if someone directly click on technology, then we have to simply move the user to our technology fragment. We can also directly we have to also move the user by swiping, but we have to also move the user if user click on directly on any of the tab item. So I simply type here tab layout dot add on tab selected listener. Then after this new, then capital T and press enter. So it will automatically add the whole code. Now you have to write the code inside this on tab selected. So inside this we have to type here view pager dot set current item, and inside this we have to type here tab dot get position. So this is fine. Then after this we have to simply type this code as it is with me. So tab dot get position equal 0, or tab dot get position equal 1, tab dot get position equal 2, tab dot get position equal 3 for all type items, tab dot get position equal 4, and the last one is tab dot get position equal 5. Then if user click on any of the tab, then what we have to do, we have to simply notify our adapter. So pager adapter dot notify dataset chain. So this is done. Now this is for if someone click on directly on any tab. Now if someone want to swipe up, then we have to simply type here view pager dot add on page change listener. So this is for if someone's want to swipe, then we have to simply import this new tab layout, and inside this we have to pass our tab layout. So this is done. Now the code of our tab layout is complete. Now it's time to check our app whether the tab layout is working fine, and if it is working fine, then we will write the API code and retrofit code how to fetch data from API. So later we will move. First of all, we have to check whether the app is working or not. So for this I have to connect my phone, and then I will press on run button. So I connected my phone and I have to press on run button. But before pressing on run button, first of all, you can see I add a tab toolbar on our activity. So for this we have to remove the action bar from our application. So come inside your themes.xml. So when you come inside your themes.xml, simply change this one and simply type here no action bar instead of dark action bar. And also you have to remove this from night. So instead of dark action bar, you have to type here no. And one more thing we have to do, we have to change the color of our title bar. So simply click on this one, newsfeed, and I want to use this color. So I can simply copy this code, Control-C copy, then open your strings.xml, not inside strings, color.xml, and simply change this one. So I can simply remove this color and simply paste my color code here. So this is done. Now let's check our app whether the app is working, and if it is working fine, then we will write the code. Then we will see how to work with API. So I press on run button, and Gradle start building, and Gradle build successfully, and Gradle installing the application. So you can see application installed successfully and it is work fine. Now if I swipe, you can see on my demo, if previously I had a background color black on sports fragment, so that's why it's showing black. So it is work fine. So you can see I am able to switch between fragments easily, and if I click on any of the fragment directly, I can also go here. So application is work fine. Now we'll see the main part of this application, how to work with API. So for this what you have to do, first of all, minimize this, also close this close everything here from here, close this, close this. So simply open your Chrome browser, any browser whichever you want to use. Then after this, inside this you have to simply type here newsapi.org. We are going to use this one, but you can use Guardian API or any API, it is your choice. Now after this, you can see I already created an account. So if you don't log in, then you have to simply create a new account, and then you can simply get your API key. So when you click on get API key, if you are new to this API, then you have to simply create a new account, and then you can easily get your API key. So if I click on this, so you can see this is my API key. So one more thing I want to say, don't try to use this API key, because after creating this tutorial I will delete this API key. So it will not work if you try to use this API key. So one thing I want to tell, you have to create your own account, and then you have to create your own API. So this is fine. Now what I have to do, I have to simply copy my API key. So Control-C copy, then open your Android Studio, simply open your main.active.java, and after this I can simply declare a variable here. So you have to simply declare a string type variable here, string, then I simply give the variable name API, and inside this double quotes I store my API key. This is fine. Now add a semicolon. So this is done. Now I will show you how to work with API. So simply back to home, then simply click on documentation. So when you click on documentation, you can see here this API key is require authentication. So what is the authentication mean? When you want to fetch any data from this API, you should pass a authentication key as a header. You can see you have to must pass this authentication key, otherwise it will not work. So this is the authorization header. So you can see this is the authorization header. If you not pass this header, then this API will not give you anything. Now this is second thing. Now the second thing, how we'll get the data. So for this, let us suppose if I come here, everything, I come on to the top headlines. So I want top headline. So the top headline, how we can get the top headline? So first of all, this is the base URL, https://newsapi.org v2. This is the base URL. Now what we want to get, we have to get top headlines, and now we have to mention the country. So you have to pass specific country if you want to get the top headlines. So this is the working of API. If you want to work with another API, then you can, but for working with this API, and if we want to get any headlines, then we have to pass the specific country inside this. You can see this is the country parameter, and after this we have to pass our API key, which is as a authorization header. Now when we pass this, it will return the response like this. So try to understand this thing. If you understand this thing, then you can work with any API GET request. So try to understand this thing. So you can see, first of all, these are the countries available. So where is the India? So you can see IN for India and US for US. So there are lots of country available here. So now it will return this kind of response. So on a single page, it can return up to 100 response. So it is your choice, whatever you want. Let us suppose you want only 10 news on a single page or 20 news. So I simply type it is manually type here 38. So we can pass this parameter to. Now it will return the array of articles. So you can see it will return the articles array. Then what I have to take inside this article, what we have an author name, we have a title of news, we have a description of news, then we have a URL of the image, and after this we have a timing. So this is the URL of our main news, and this is the URL to image. So sometime it contains the image URL, and sometime it does not contain image URL. So don't worry, some articles contain image and some articles don't contain an image. So that's why it's say URL to image null. So when you, after creating, you can see this news contain the image URL. So don't worry, some contains image and some not. Now how we can get the data? Previously I showed the demo of coronavirus COVID API. So that API is very simple. So you can see what I need to do. I have to fetch these data: author, title, description, URL, image, content, publish at. So I want these all details. Now where all these details are present? So these all details are present inside this article type of array. Now where this article type of array is present? Article type of array present inside this bracket. You can see article type of array is present inside this bracket. So we have to create two model classes for this. So hope you understand how this thing work. Now let us suppose if I come on to the sources, you can also, let us suppose you can see this is the category. So you can also get the business news, entertainment news, and general, health, science, sports, technology. So these are the sports param. So, and also you can get the top headline from BBC News, and you can also get the news from a specific news editor, or we can say it is your choice. Now you can see here, if we want to fetch the news of a particular thing, then we have to simply pass the country, and then we have to simply pass the category. So you can see these are the two parameters. So this is done. Now I will show you how to work with this. So for this, let us suppose simply come open your Android Studio. Now right click here. Then after this right clicking, you have to create a Java class, or we can say model class. So right click here, then new, then you have to click on Java class, give the class name model class. You can give any class name. Now click on OK. Now inside this we have to already in the previous tutorial of COVID-19, we have to give the same name which is present on our API. So I simply type here private string. Then what I have to fetch here, author, title, I want to fetch this. Then after this we have to fetch description, and make sure you type the correct name, otherwise it will not going to work. Then we have to URL of a specific news to open the news in new web activity. Then we have to new URL to image to show the image of the news. Then we have to timing. So published at. So let me confirm everything. So published at. So this is done. Now I open this. So you can see author, title, description, URL, and this is URL to image and published at. And this is fine. Now everything is perfect, and we don't need to fetch any content because we have to open the news in new activity. So that's why description is enough, and this is fine. Now what we have to do, we have to create a class. So we have to create a getter, setter, and constructor. So alt insert, click on constructor, and simply select all, then OK. Then press enter, alt insert, getter and setter, select all, OK. So constructor and getter and setter created successfully. Now you can see I already tell you this data is present inside this article type of array. So now we have to fetch entire array. So this is the just for fetching these values. But how we get these values if we have this array? So first of all we have to fetch this array, then we can able to fetch these values. So hope you understand how this works. So for this we have to create one more class. So I simply right click here, then you have to click on new, then you can give any class name. So I simply give the class name main news, but you can give any class name. Now inside this what we have to do, we have to create a array, or we can say list. So for this we have to simply type here, we can also get the status or your choice. So I simply type here private status string, status, then private string, and we can also get the total results, how many results it is fetching. And then after this we have to create a array list, because we have all data present inside this array, and type of the array is model class, because we have to fetch these values, and the array name is articles, must be this. So why the array name is this articles? You can see these all data present inside this article type of array, and we have to fetch these values. So the type of the array is model class, and we have to fetch these values, so that's why the array name is articles. So hope you understand how the work with API. So this is done. Now after this we have to create a constructor and getter and setter. Click on constructor, select all, click on OK. Then after this alt insert, then we have to simply click on getter and setter, then select all and click on OK. So this is done. Now the work is complete for the model classes. Now we have to create a API interface, and also we have to create a API utilities to create the retrofit object. So for this, first of all, expand your manifest, and we have to add internet permission inside this. So simply take an open bracket, type here internet uses permission internet. So this is done. Now we have to come in, right click here, then you have to click on new, then you have to click on Java class. We have to create a Java class for API utilities to create the retrofit object. So this is done. Now inside this, what we have to take a retrofit object. So private string retrofit. So it is not showing retrofit because I don't add a dependency. So come inside a build.gradle module app. So this is the build.gradle module app, and here I have to add dependency. So how I can add the dependency, I don't remember the version, so it is better to open the project. So I simply open my previous project, which is this project, news app 22. I open this one project, and from this simply open this activity in new project, and then I come inside build.gradle module app, and this is the dependencies. So I can simply copy this dependency from here. So I also need a glide dependency. So I simply copy this, Control C, copy. Now close this project. Now I come back on news app tutorial, simply paste the dependencies here and click on sync now. So it will import this dependency. So you can type it manually, or you can use your browser. I will also provide the drive link in description, so you can get the dependency from description. So now the Gradle build is finished. Now open your API utilities, and now if I type here retrofit, then it will show private static retrofit. So it is not showing still. So import class, now it is fine. Now after this, give any variable name. I simply give the retrofit. By default what it contains, null. So now we have to, first of all, we have to get the API interface. So create an API interface first. So right click, then new, then you have to click on Java class, give the class name API interface, and the type of this interface. Okay. So this is done. Now press enter. Now what I have to do, I have to simply, first of all, we have to give the base URL here, string, then give the variable name base URL, and inside this we have to pass our URL, which is our base URL. So simply open your end browser, and the base URL is this one is base URL up to slash. So simply copy this, then open your Render Studio and simply paste the base URL here. So this is done. Now what we have to get, two things. First of all, we have to get the headlines, and then we have to, second thing which we have to fetch the news of specific thing. So I simply type here get, first thing which I have to fetch, top headlines. So you can see, I open the Chrome browser. So you have to see, I simply have to fetch top headlines, and we have to pass two parameters. One is our API key, and second is our country, to fetch these things. So I simply, inside this, I simply type here top headlines. Make sure you type this as it is. Then after this, you have to simply call this. So call, inside this, we have to call our main news Java class type. So click on this and Alt plus enter, import class. So we have to call this. Then after this, what we have to simply create a function get news. So it will return the news. Then inside this, we have to pass three parameters. So first is query. So inside this, we have to pass the country name. So I simply take a variable country, and make sure you type the same variable here. So you can see this is the country present here. So that's why I type here country. So hope you understand. Now inside this we have to pass the country. So for now I simply take a string variable of country type, string country. So for now I simply type this, then @query, then page size. So this is the variable name, you can confirm with API. Then string and give any variable name. So this is not a string type, it is int type, page size. Now open your API. So you can see by default what is returning, it returning 38 result in this case, but you can get up to 100 result. So it is your choice whatever you want to pass. And why I type here country variable, I can simply pass here US, but it will show only the US news. So you can also add a country picker library and then you can fetch any country news. So that's why I simply take a variable here. So I will tell you how to work with this. Now the last thing which we have to pass, which is our API key for authorization. So this is the variable name, and then after this we have to simply type a string, then API key. So this is fine. Now at last we have to add a semicolon here. So this is done. Now the second thing which we have to call, we have to also fetch the news of specific category. So Control C and then simply paste this here. Now we have to create second method. So inside this is, we have to simply change the function name. So I have to fetch the category news. So simply type here get category news, and then I can simply pass here one more query here, and inside this we have to pass here category. And you can, I already explained whole API, so you can check this. So I simply type here string category. So this is perfect. Now we can say our API interface is ready. Now come inside API utilities, and after this we have to create this. So simply type here public static, and then we have to type here get API, give the function name get API interface. This is fine. Now it's showing error. So take your, first of all we have to simply type here inside this if retrofit equal null, then it means we don't create the object of retrofit till now. So we have to create this. So for this we have to type here retrofit, then inside this we have to type here new retrofit and builder, then dot base URL, and inside this we have to pass the base URL. So how we get the base URL? Base URL is present inside our API interface dot base URL. So we have to import this class. Then after this we have to add the converter factory, add converter factory, and inside this we have to pass here JSON converter factory, this one, and then we have to simply create this. So create. So this is perfect. Now at last what we have to do, we have to simply build this. So dot build and then semicolon. Now at last what we have to do, we have to, after else we have to return this. So return, and what we have to return, retrofit dot create object of this, and inside this we have to pass here API interface dot class. So it will return this. So it's showing error, so take your cursor here. So simply click on this. So you can see it is fine. It is make this class of API interface type. So now the work of this is completed. Now we have to simply fetch the data from our API, and then we have to simply show the data inside our RecyclerView. So first of all we have to design a layout or resource file for the items of our RecyclerView. So after this we will write the more code how to fetch data. First of all we have to create a layout resource file for how we can show the items. So right click here, then new, then you have to click on layout resource file and give the file name layout underscore item, then click on OK, then click on split, and inside this we have to write the code. So first of all simply change the constraint layout to a relative layout. So I simply cut this from here and simply type here relative layout. So this is perfect. Now inside this I have to write the code. So now after this, inside this we have to take a card view. So simply take an open bracket, type here Android X card view, this one, then simply set the layout with match parent. Height is also match parent, it is fine, and then we have to give ID padding. So padding is 10 dp, it is fine. Then after this we can give the margin. So margin 2 dp, it is fine. Then after this we have a card corner radius to make it round. So card corner radius 10 dp, it is fine. Then we have to give a elevation to give us little bit shadow, then this is fine. Now from here, instead of layout height of match parent, simply set it to 275 dp, but you can set any height according to your own application. So it is totally depend on you. Let us suppose you want to implement this application on Play Store. So if you want to integrate ad mobs, then you have to design that thing according to your own. Now inside this card view, what we need lots of item. So it is better to take a linear layout inside this. So press enter first here, simply take an open bracket, type here linear layout. Now set the layout with match parent, height is also match parent. So this is done, and after this orientation vertical. So close this. Now I forget to give any ID here, so I simply give the ID card view. You can give any ID name, it is your choice. Now inside this linear layout we need some items. So first item is our heading. So simply take an open bracket, type here text view. Set the layout with match parent, height 60 dp, it is fine. Then after this we have to give any ID, so I simply give the ID name here main heading. Then we have to give the padding. So padding is 5 dp, it is fine. Then we have to give the ellipse size and. So why it is this? Because let us suppose the heading length is more than 2 or 3 lines. So on that time we have to simply show the ... at the end of the text view. So that's why we have to take this. Now I simply give the max lines. So maximum number of lines I need inside this 2. So maximum line 2, and if the text contain more than 2 lines, then it automatically show ... So this is fine. Now we have to simply set the text color black. Then we have to give any text. So for now I simply type here any normal text. You can type main heading displays here, main heading display here. So this is fine. Now we have to give the text size. So text size 20 sp, it is fine. Then we have to give the text style bold. So this is fine. Now close this. Now I will show you what is the meaning of ellipse size and what is the meaning of max line. So let us suppose I simply copy this text and simply paste the text here randomly. So you can see now the text expand after 2 is after this. So that's why it automatically showed ... So let us suppose if I not type this, if I remove this, you can see now it will look like this and it will not show ... So that's why it's fine. Control Z, I simply do the Control Z. So this is perfect. Now below this text view, what we need one more text view to show description. So I can simply take a linear layout again, because on the right side of the description I also need to show image. So simply take an open bracket, type here linear layout, this one, it is perfect. Now we have to give the layout with match parent, height 130 dp, it is fine. Then we have to give the margin top 10 dp, it is fine. Then we have to give the orientation, and orientation horizontal, because I need image view on the right side. So this is perfect. Now inside this, what I can do, I can simply take a text view, one more text view again, text view, set the layout with match parent, height is also match parent. Now layout weight is 1, it is perfect. Ellipse size and after this we have to give the max lines. So maximum number of lines in description I need 6, so 6 lines is fine. And for now simply give the padding. So padding is also 5 dp, it is fine. Then give any ID, so I simply give the ID name content. So this is perfect. Now we have to give the text size. So text size is 15 sp, it is fine. Then after this we have to give any text. So simply give the text main content. You can type whatever you want. This is perfect. Now below this, what we need an image view. So close this. And on the right side of this I need an image view here. So simply take an open bracket, type here image view. So this is perfect. Now we have to set the layout with match parent, height match parent, give the padding inside this image view is also 5 dp. Then we have to give the layout weight is 1. Then we have to give the scale type center crop, and after this we have to give any ID. So I simply give the ID name here image view, this is perfect. Then we have to give the source launcher background for now, just for checking purpose whether it is working or not, and you can see it is work fine. Then we can close this. So this is also created successfully. Now after come outside from this linear layout, and after this what we need a text view to show the author name. So simply take an open bracket, type here text view, set the layout with match parent, height is also wrap content, text for now I simply type here by Brijesh. Then we have to give the text size. So text size 13 sp, it is perfect. Now give any text style. So text style italic, I want this. And then we have to give any ID. So I simply give the ID name here author. So this is perfect. Now we have to simply give the text color, and I give the text color purple 200. So this is fine. Now we have to give any padding. So padding 5 dp, it is fine. Now you can design this layout according to your own choice. Now at the end what I need to show over here date and time. So for this one I can simply take one more text view. So simply take one more text view, layout with match parent, height is also match parent, and give the layout weight 1. Then we not need this layout weight one. This is fine. Now give any ID. So I simply give the ID name here time, and then we have to give the padding. So padding 5 dp, it is fine. Now we have to give the text color. So text color is black. Black. It is perfect. Then we have to give the text. For now I simply type here published at. This is perfect. Now we have to give the text size, style bold, not italic, bold. Give the text size 12 sp. It is perfect. And then we have to don't need to give anything. This is perfect. Now close this. Now the layout is created successfully. Now we have to create an adapter for this. For working with RecyclerView, as you already know, we have to create an adapter for this. So we have to create a adapter class inside our application. So come on to the top, right click, then new, then click on Java class adapter. I give this class name. This is fine. Now we have to simply type here extend, then RecyclerView dot adapter. Inside this we have to type here adapter dot view holder. So this is fine. Now take your cursor here, click on implement methods. Okay, take your cursor again here, create class view holder. This is fine. Take your cursor again here, make view holder this one. Take your cursor here and create constructor matching super. So this is done. Now remove this not null statements. It is very annoying statements, yeah. And after this remove this also. After this remove this also. So this is perfect. Now what we have to do, we have to declare two things inside adapter. As you already know, I already uploaded lots of tutorial on RecyclerView. So simply type here context. First thing is this, and second thing which we will receive from our fragment. So we will get the model array of any type like articles. So we have to show data articles on our RecyclerView. Simply I type this. So that's why I simply take a array list of model class. Now we have to simply create a constructor, alt and start. Then we have to create a constructor, select both, then click on OK. First thing is done. Now the second thing of working with RecyclerView, we have to return the view. So delete this, simply type here view, then after this layout inflator dot from, where we want to get from context. Then after this what we have to do, we have to inflate what we want to inflate, our layout, which is the layout r.layout dot of our layout item. So this one. Then we have to pass the two things, null and false. Then inside this what we have to do, we have to simply return this, return new view holder. Inside this simply pass the view. This is done. You can see very easy. Now we have to on get item count, we have to return this model class dot size. So this is perfect. Now let's write the code of our view holder first, then we will write the code of our bind view holder. So inside this what we have to do, we have to take some variables. So I simply type here text view. I have lots of variable text view. Then I have a m heading, then m content, then m author, then m category. I simply give this variable's name, but you can give any variable name, it is your choice. And I will tell you working of these variables, so don't worry, m time. Then I simply take a card view. Why I take a card view? Let us suppose user click on any news, then I have to open the web view activity. So that's why I give the ID in our layout file. Now I have an image view. Give the ID name image view, it is fine. Now we have to simply assign the XML ID into our Java IDs. M heading equal item view dot find view ID r.id dot heading main heading. This one is main. Now we simply control D first of all. Then I can simply change this. So m content, and m content inside this I have to show the description. So main so I have to come inside this and let me check what is the ID name of this. ID name is content. So content. So this is fine. Now we have a author name, m author, and I have to change it to author. Perfect. Then I have a I have a time. So inside this I have a time. Then at last I have an image view, and inside this I can simply pass here ID name of image view. It is perfect. Then at last I have a card view. card view, and inside this I can simply pass here card view. This is perfect. Now there is nothing like category, so delete this. Now we have to write the code inside our onBind view holder. So onBind view holder, why we need onBind view holder? Because we have to simply set the data according to our item, or we can say according to our position. So how we can set this? So first of all, let us suppose if someone click on card, then what we have to do, we have to simply open the new activity. So holder.set on click listener, then new, then capital O, and press enter. And inside this we can simply, then inside this what we have to do, we have to use an intent here to move from user from this activity to another activity. So intent, then new intent, and where we want to go, first of all we want to grow from this to our web view dot class. So I don't create this activity till now, so it will show error, so don't worry. Now with the intent, what I have to pass here, I have to pass the URL, because I want to open that URL on our new activity, which is our web view activity. So that's why I simply take a intent here, intent.put extra, and inside this from where I get the URL, model class ArrayList.getPosition, because I want to pass the specific URL on which user clicked, .get URL, because this is our getter and setter methods. So you can see it is fine. Now we have to simply start this activity, context.start activity, intent. This is done. Now we have to set the data on our recycler view. So holder.mtime.setText, and inside this we have to concatenate the string. So first of all, by default we have to simply type here publish stat. It is your choice whether you want to type this or not. Then I have to simply concatenate the string model class dot get position, and what I have to get publish it. So this is the done. Now we have to set the holder dot mauthor dot set text, and inside this we have to simply type model class get position and that dot get author. So this is done. Now control D. Now we have a main heading, m heading. On heading, what we have to set, we have to simply set the title. So this is the getter and setters. Now we have our description, m content, and inside this what we have to type a description. These four things are done, and the last thing which is left to show the image. So for this we have to use glide.width, where we want pass the context, and we have to load the image. So first of all, from where we get the image, model class list dot get position, and then we have to get URL to image. So we have to simply load this URL on our image. So where we have, which is our target, into folder.imageView. So this is perfect. Now the work of RecyclerView adapter is complete. Now right click here, then new, then you have to click on activity, select empty activity from here, and we have to create this web view activity. So web view.class, click on OK. Now the error is gone. Now we have to write the code inside our all fragments, how to show the news. So open your home fragment. So first of all, we write the code how to fetch the specific country news. So open your home fragment. Then inside this we have to take some things here, like close. I have come from our, which is our main activity. Where is the main activity? So this is the main activity. I simply copy the string of API. Now open your activity. After this, simply open your home fragment. This is the home fragment. Simply paste the here. Now open your activity home fragment.xml. Open this, and the recycler view name is recycler view of home. So this is perfect. Now let's declare some variables here. So first of all, we need an array list. Because why we need? Because we will get the response of array type. So that's why. And the type of the array list is model class. Then simply give any class list name, model class, array list. I give this. Then after this, we have to type here adapter to use the recycler view string. Then I can simply take a variable here, country, type country name, and then inside this I have to store IN. So on previously I show how the country codes IN, US. So that's why. Now this is perfect. Now at last, what we have to do, we have to take a recycler view. So private recycler view. So why I type it this type private? Because we have a lots of recycler view in a single activity in different fragments. So that's why I don't want to conflict any recycler view. That's why I simply type this recycler view of home. So this is done. Now first of all, we have to simply assign the XML ID onto our Java IDs. Recycler view of home equal find view ID. Sorry. So find view ID is not working here. So because we have to use v dot find view ID r.id dot recycler view of home. So this is perfect. Now at last, we have to simply set the take the declare the list of model class. So model class list array list equal new array list. Then after this, RecyclerView form dot set layout manager, and we want linear layout manager, and inside this pass the context which is our get context. So this is done. Now we have to take a adapter new adapter, and inside this we have to pass two things on our adapter, our context, and second thing which is our list, which we will get from our when we call our retrofit instance. So this is done. Now we have to simply set this adapter on our RecyclerView, and which will set the all data. So this is fine. Now after this we will create a function find news, which will fetch the all newses. So find news. So take your cursor here, click on this, create method. So it will create this method. Now this is the main one, how to fetch the data from our API. So first of all, what we have to do, we have to simply call the API utilities to get the object of our retrofit. API utilities got API interface dot get news, and we have two function, get news, get category news. So inside our home fragment I have to show all news, so that's why get news. Then inside this we have to pass three parameter. So first is our country, so I simply declare a country variable, so that's why I simply pass this country. Then the second parameter, how many news I want on single page, so I simply type here 100. Then I have to simply pass my API key, which is S. Then after this dot enqueue, then new, then simply type C, capital C, and this is done. Now inside this we have to simply take the response. So I can simply type here if response is successful. If it mean response, we will get the response successful. Then we simply add all array inside our array list. So I simply type here model class list dot get all and response dot body dot get articles, because I already created this Java class. Then semicolon. Now we have to notify the adapter, array adapter notify dot data set chain. So this is done. Now the work of home fragment is complete. Now what we can do, we can simply copy this code for our remaining classes, and we have to make simply minimal changes. So I simply copy this code up to here, Control C copy, and I open this time I open science fragment.string. So I can simply paste the code here and remove the last bracket from here and simply paste this. So this is done. Now open home fragment again, simply copy this and simply paste the inside this science fragment, and simply declare these things here. Now this is the recycler view of science first thing. So inside this I simply type here recycler view of science, and I can simply type here recycler view of science. Recycler view of science. I have to make these changes, these small changes just, and recycler view of science. So this is done. After this, what we have to do, we have to make some changes. Like inside this we have to fetch the news of specific country, not the main one, and make sure you have a two brackets at last. So now this showing error, so don't worry, we have to simply delete this. So we can simply copy this, if response is successful, copy this. Then I simply take a variable here, category type. So I simply type here category, normal category, private string category, because inside this we have to fetch the data of science. So in double quote simply type the category science. So this is done. Now we have to call this function. So delete this one, and we have to get the news of specific, get category news. And inside this, first of all, the parameter which we have to pass, we have to pass the first parameter which is our country, second parameter which is our category, third parameter which is our page size, and the last parameter which is our API. And then we have to simply enqueue this, dot enqueue new callback. And after this we have to simply do the same thing. If response is successful, then we have to add this, otherwise not. So it is showing error. So why it is showing error? Because we have to remove this return v from here. So this is perfect. Now the work of science fragment is complete. Now we have to simply do the same coding on our remaining fragments. So what we can do, we can simply copy this. So simply copy this from here, Control C copy, and copy up to last. Then open your health fragment, simply select all and replace this by this. So this is done. Now here we have to change these things, health I have to pass this category as a health. So make sure you pass the correct parameter, and this is the correct string, and you can check on the API. I already show you how this thing work, so you don't need to worry. And inside this, what we have to do, we have to change the ID name. So this is the RecyclerView of health. Then after this, we have to also make change RecyclerView of health, RecyclerView of health, and RecyclerView of health. And here we have to also type here RecyclerView of health, not home, health. So make sure you type these correct thing, and also we have to attach the health fragment here, not science fragment, health, otherwise it will crash our application. So this is done. Now the work of this activity is also completed. Now what we have to do, we have to come inside our science fragment is done, sports. So open your sports fragment, and inside this simply select up to this, delete this, change the category. So this is the sports category, so I simply type here sports. Then I simply type here RecyclerView of sports. So this is done. Now I simply type here RecyclerView of sports, also RecyclerView of sports, RecyclerView of sports, and then we have to simply attach the sports fragment here, not science fragment. So this work is also done. Now we have to write the code inside our technology fragment. So open tech fragment, select up to this, Control V. Then inside this, what we have to do, we have to simply do the same thing here. So inside this, we have to pass this technology. So this is done. I open sports fragment to check everything is perfect. Here, perfect. So instead of RecyclerView of science, I need here RecyclerView of tech, and also attach the technology fragment here, RecyclerView of tech, RecyclerView of tech. Also make change here, and also make change here. So hope you guys understand this code, how these things work. And now some last case is left, entertainment fragment. So select up to this, Control V, paste this, and after this we have to simply change the category and some things. So instead of science fragment, what I need here, entertainment. So this is first thing which I have to change. Then I have to type here entertainment, RecyclerView of entertainment. So this is perfect. Now we have to make change here. So RecyclerView of entertainment, RecyclerView of entertainment, then RecyclerView of entertainment, then RecyclerView of entertainment. So this is done. Now health fragment is done, home fragment is done, and science fragment is done, sports fragment is done, and tech fragment is done. So let's confirm everything. First of all, I confirm the code whether it is code fine. RecyclerView of science fragment. So home, this is also perfect, this is also perfect, and this is also perfect. So make sure you pass same things here, otherwise it will crash our application. Let us suppose if you assign the different XML ID into our different Java ID, so it will crash our application. Now we have to create a web view inside our activity web view. So open this, click on split, and simply change the constraint layout to relative layout. First of all, the main thing which you have to do. Now inside this, we have to create a toolbar here, and also what we need a web view here. So first of all, I open my activity main XML file. I can simply copy the code of this toolbar. So Control C, copy up to toolbar. Control C, copy. Then open this. It is not replacing this, so delete this and simply type here relative layout. Then inside this relative layout, what we need a toolbar here, and simply I change this to specific news. Specific news. You can type whatever you want, it is your choice. Now below this, what we need a web view. So below this toolbar, we have to take a web view. So simply take an open bracket, type here web view, then set the layout with match parent, height is also match parent, then give any ID. So I simply give the ID name here, web view, then we have to simply give the layout below toolbar, then close this. Now open the webview.java. So where is the webview.java? Here it is. Now inside this we have to write the code of how to load the URL inside our web view. So first of all we have to declare a variable of toolbar. So toolbar, which is the androidx.appcompat toolbar, give the variable name toolbar, and we have a web view. So this is fine. Now we have to type here toolbar equal find view id r.id dot toolbar, then web view equal find view id r.id dot web view. So this is perfect. Then we have to simply set the set support action bar, and inside this we have to pass the toolbar. So this is final. Now we have to get the URL. If user click on any of the specific news, then we have to get the URL. So for this, how we get the URL? From our intent, which is we passing from our adapter. So I simply type here intent get intent. Then we have to store the URL inside a variables. I simply declare a string URL. Then intent dot get string extra. Inside this we have to pass the same variable which we use inside our adapter. So I will show you what is the variable name inside our adapter. So first add a semicolon and I open the adapter. So you can see I use the URL. So we have to use the same variable here. Now we have to simply load this. So webview.set webview client, and inside this new webview client, this one, this is perfect. Then we have to simply load this URL. So webview.load URL, inside this simply pass the URL, which is our main URL, and this is done. Now our application is finally ready, and now it's time to check our app whether the app is working or not. And if it is working fine, then we will end this video, and if it contain error, then we will see how to solve that error, and then we will complete our news application. So I successfully connect my phone, but before running the application, the one mistake which I done in the code, which is the biggest mistake, and it will not fetch any data. So the mistake is that simply come inside API interface, and I give the wrong get method here. So I have to type here headlines. I have to pass correct thing. So I show on API documentation, we have to, if we want to fetch the data, then we have to pass the top headlines. So I simply forget to add a D here. So now it is perfect. Now we can check our code. Now before checking, simply open your science fragment. So you can see it contains the black color code in background. So remove this and simply add this color code #E6 #E6E6. So this color code is perfect. Now simply add this color code inside this all fragments. So also here, also in technology fragment. So you can add wherever you want. It is your choice. Health fragment, and the last entertainment fragment. So finally our code is ready. Now it's time to check our app whether the app is working or not, and if it is work fine, then we will end this video. So for this I have to simply run plus on run button, and you can see Gradle start building. Now Gradle build successful, and it will install the application inside our phone, and you can see application installed successfully, and you can see our news app is work fine, and it show the correct data. So why it is not showing here author name? Because maybe on API author name is not present, so that's why you can see below the author name is showing. So everything is work fine. Now let us suppose if I come on to the sports, it show the all sports news, and if I come on to the health, it show all health news. If I come on to the science, it show all science news, and by default it contain 100 news on a single page. So you can add 10, 20, it is your choice. And you can also add a paging concept in this application, and you can add one more page number like second page number, third page number. So it is your choice. Now if I come on technology, it show all technology news. Now let us suppose if I click on any of the news. So if I click on this one, so you can see it open the new news in the new specific news activity, and it looks amazing, and our app is work fine perfectly in every condition. So if I come on to sports, if I click on this, so you can see everything is work fine. So finally guys, our application is ready, and I complete this application in a single video, and this is the Play Store level app. You can upload in Play Store, you can add it in your resume. It is your choice. Whatever you want to do, you can do. So I hope guys you like the video, and if your code is work, then simply leave a comment below in comment section so other viewers can find whether the code is correct or not. So if your code is working, then please leave a comment, please like the video, please share the video with your friend. So thank you, subscribe the channel, and if you are new to channel, then please subscribe the channel. Thank you, see you soon in next amazing project. Thank you.